Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
Am I okay?
So far.
No, I mean emotionally.
Not at all.
Okay, what do you think? Can you tell? Can you tell I have a condition, maybe?
A condition?
Oh, that's not nice. You know that the doctors, you know this, the other people don't know this, but they actually did a test to me neurologically, and it's not funny. They found that I have a stupid gene. A stupid gene. I have a stupid gene. It's nothing I could do anything about, obviously.
If only it were recessive.
That's true. If it was recessive, my stupidity you wouldn't see it, right?
No,
you'd
just pass it on. Thankfully, you're a stupidity dead end genetically.
Oh, Jesus. I didn't tell you that I'm going to New York. I realized that. I'm going to New York, not today, but next week.
I know it's not today because you'd be like, oh!
My brother's 70th birthday.
Oh, fantastic.
We're flying in to surprise him. But then we told him about it. We can't give a secret like that.
Yeah.
His wife wanted to keep it a secret.
Tell
him this, tell him that. Now he knows, and I'm very excited about it, except I could die from the COVID and things like that.
Bring a mask. Wear it. Don't take it off.
Even during the party. I'm also going to go to another party where I'm going to see all my grandkids who are, some of them are like 50, 60 years old.
Grandkids, wow.
Shut up. Shut up, I told you. Nieces and nephews' kids, which I still don't understand. Grandnephews.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Thank you. Woo. Woo. That wasn't that hard to go, woo.
No, this is a perfect example of the spiking the ball over nothing.
And, hey, so that's fun. I'm looking forward to it.
So when is that? What part?
I fly next a week from today. No, a week from tomorrow. So I'll be here on the Monday.
All right.
So I don't know how we're going to do, if we're going to even do, we may do one big show.
Super show, I like to call it.
Super show. Why don't we do it today for 2, and then when I go like this, I give you a signal, we start saying, wow, I can't believe that, they already had those, right? The games. Those were 2 good games, right? Didn't you think so?
Yeah, whatever.
Did you enjoy them?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
You know, I was thinking more and more about you and me and my problems and your problems. I was thinking, your sport should be the greatest sport to watch because it isn't violent except when they go, it's violent when they go, don't bring that down here, right? Don't bring that into my house. Don't they say that a lot?
Yeah, but usually they're swatting the ball away when they say that.
Yeah, but you had you guys like who's the guy who's an exciting man who wears all kinds of crazy clothes, and who's on. Was
this Dennis Rodman you're trying to counter?
Yes. Yeah. Dennis Rodman, for example.
Yeah.
I don't know what my point was.
I don't either.
Come on, what am I saying?
I don't know.
Oh.
That he was violent?
Oh, hey, no, he's not violent, but there are people who, I mean, just like any sport,
much like football, they've made it a safer game. They've taken a lot of the physicality out of it. Yes.
And I think that's good.
Mm.
Would you like you wish it was back in the old days? Get out of here. I saw this documentary about Robert Prost. He's a famous. If I knew hockey, you'd be, of course.
Uh-huh.
And he's like one of these fighting guys. He died, but he's like one of these fighting hockey guys. And these guys, I mean, I guess I have blocked out that time of my life where they would just stand on the ice and they would punch each other for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And then other people say you have weak, and I say, so you really have weak ankles? I said, no, yes, I did have weak. Thank God I had weak ankles and a weak mind. I would have been dead if anything that I thought I should have tried, I did try. Like hockey.
Well,
dead.
I mean, it's not like that there's bloody all-out fights at every level of hockey.
No.
Like at youth hockey, they stop the fights.
When you're a kid, right?
Yeah.
They sure? I don't know. This seems terrible.
You would have been, you, however, would have been physically limited.
By the fact that I'm a wimp?
No, just your actual stature would keep you.
How do you mean?
What
do you say?
You're tiny.
I don't have a big stature.
Tiny.
Isn't that considered to be an advantage in the hockey?
No.
That tiny guy goes through McSorley's leg. I say McSorley because he was one of the big fighters.
And by the way, I was just realizing when I was visualizing a hockey fight as you were talking about it, the reason why they like clinch up and just pound on each other like that is because if they weren't holding each other, they would punch and then like float backwards.
That's exactly right. That's why they do it. But after you watch people on hockey rinks, you don't even realize they're skating.
Also from my experience, and you'll enjoy this, you're too smart to play hockey.
Don't say that, because it happens to be that the Gretzky was a Fulbright scholar, and he also went to Emory.
Yeah, also dropped out at like 16 and played hockey.
Who did? Gretzky?
Yeah.
No, he was good. I was making it up. He was good? He was a Fulbright scholar?
No, I'm saying he was uneducated because he went into hockey.
And also, he was not a fighter. They protected him.
Yes, they did.
Right.
Rightfully so.
And yeah, shouldn't you protect it? How about this? We just agreed not to try and murder all of the people. Then we don't have to have any enforcers.
I actually have a signed Gretzky LA Kings jersey in my closet.
Oh, my God. That's just incredibly crazy to think about. These people must have been fuming up in Edmonton. I told you I played Edmonton, and I've told this story many, many times, but I still think it's very instructive, and it's also short, where I was bombing every single night in Edmonton, every single night. And it was right around 80. I started going up there in like 87, 88, 89. So I guess they had just won a million things.
I don't know.
Then?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't.
Well,
I neither follow nor like hockey.
Okay. Well, they had won everything. And Gretzky was on their team. So I say, wow, man, it's a rough crowd or something like that. He goes, well, we've seen it all here. We've seen it. We've seen it all. We're the hockey. He's basically saying that we have the hockey champions of the universe. It's very hard to get these people to laugh.
Yeah.
I don't even know that connection, really, but it made me just sad.
I think they were just letting you down easy, is what they were. I think what they were saying is, we've seen it all, and we've decided Jews aren't among the things we want to see again.
The fact that I started out on the road, and we both started on the road during a weird time period, it doesn't make it any less weird when you're there, because they, you're part of the comedy boom, supposedly,
right? And
you're dying, you're bombing,
yeah.
And then these Canadian comics are great, but some of the Canadian comics they are. But so I know that sounded terrible. But some of the Canadian comics who played the I told you this story before. They used to go last week. Fleming, I think his name was Fleming. He's the one who did Cinderfella, Rinder Cinder Finder, Finder Cinder Finder.
Right.
He peed in the vent. He peed in the heating vent. I mean, we were not in the lower 48 immune from this kind of bullshit. No, I mean, we can't even argue, we're not as, we don't short as many beds down here. Short sheet as many beds. But no, comics in general could be, if you weren't like a genius like me with a Algonquin round table in every town, it could be a rough biz.
They never say comedy is the refuge of the well-adjusted.
They never say, you want to do experimental things that are hit or miss? Go into stand-up comedy. Are you kidding me?
All right.
What are you talking about? Well, I'm making a joke out of the fact that Sartre believed in existentialism and yet had a very small penis. So I'm trying to see if I can get some humor out of that. I said, we clo, it should have been more like, where did it go? Come on.
Huh?
What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he didn't have a small penis. But
there's no exit from that bit.
Look at this. You don't think Sartre played around with that in all of his he was married to his wife 3 days in. I wish the we would open ouvert with this kind of nonsense. Oh. You don't understand French. Exit, no exit. No clo. We clo. Okay, that's it. That was a wonderful, and people have said, I've been getting people stop me on the street about how great our show's been the last few weeks. It's unbelievable. When I go to shop for produce, They say it.
They'll stop you from stealing something. You go, but have you heard our show the last few weeks?
I was in the market just the other day, and I was looking at some grapes. They were candy. They weren't cotton candy grapes, but they called them candy hearts. Candy heart grapes. Okay, I've changed that impression. Well, don't look at me as if I've died. I don't have a stroke here.
No, it was more of an intervention look than a
You never. You would be the last person to be at the intervention. You'd be like, Josh, we're all over here. We're about to. No, why am I'm portraying you as late to my intervention?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to come up with a better character.
If nothing else, I'm punctual.
I think you would call in and say, look, what are you going to do with him? He's fucked up. But I love the guy. Something like that. They did it with George Miller, and he hated it.
Yeah. Who likes their intervention? Really?
Nobody liked it.
Nobody likes an intervention.
In fact, George Miller supposedly said,
oh, sure, John Mulaney can use it to name drop. But still.
You know, as things go along, you kind of get the feeling that guy pulled a fast one on everybody. I mean, he pulled a fast one. If I left my wife and then I had a kid with a thing, and then when nobody would be thinking I was charming. Dilettante. What's dilettante? That's not the right word.
Dilettante is not correct.
No. A charming, what's a storyteller? A yarn spinner?
Sure.
Last night, Josh.
Raconteur.
You know, I had this joke that for a long time.
You don't understand French.
Huh? Je ne sais quoi. For a long time, I had this joke, and now I have to not do it anymore because I saw.
It's probably for the better.
Well, I saw the thing. I used to have this joke years ago, and the idea was the Triangle Shirt Factory, and it was a very sad thing. But my uncle, or something, I say, went back the Tuesday after the whole thing. He goes, "Look, he came with his receipt." He says, "I look. Maybe this is a bad time, but I had 3 pants, 2 shirts that were. I'll come back later if this is now." Not even that good a joke, but now when you see that, yes, of course, I knew intellectually that it started the labor. I mean, it was like amazing. It changed labor for the entire world, what they did in that building. But maybe I thought it was too long ago that anybody would really get upset about it. And then I watching this documentary, they go, it's the Triangle Foundation.
Shirtwaist
Foundation.
Company. Yeah.
Shirtwaist Company Foundation. Foundation we will never forget. Type of thing.
Right. And you're counting on that for your joke to work.
that they will forget.
That they will never forget.
No, I don't want them.
No, you have to remember in order for your joke to work, though.
No.
Otherwise, he's just some schmuck showing up at a building with a laundry ticket.
No, I say something. Well, sometimes I think you go too far into the realism of the premise of the jokes. You really can't.
I just listen to the words and interpret them. That's all I can do.
No, but it really was one of these things where I used to do a joke about a woman who goes, and I used to use this comic's name with it, a woman who never has gone out to a show since the Titanic because her relative was I was doing my Titanic material, right? And I said, imagine someone hadn't gone out in the club and now this is it. They won't talk about. There's no way they're going to talk about the Titanic. It's been 100 years. And then she goes, let's see, is Joe Coy in town? That was my biggest part of that bit. Is Joe Coy, that this woman who is a survivor of the Titanic, who's never been to a club, she was the daughter of someone on the Titanic, now figures they can go safely out into the clubs, and she's a big Joe Coy fan.
Wow.
I was right about Joe Coy, though I'm very...
You left me on the dock at Southampton with that one.
Okay. Are you a doctor?
No.
It's very, very... I wake up in the morning and it's like my hands aren't awake yet. I'm going to die. There's no question now. There's no question about it. These are not normal things where you wake up and for an hour or 2 hours or 3 days or it never stops feeling like bells and whistles and pins and needles. I'm looking you right in the face because otherwise it would be even worse if I tried to do this bit like this.
So you're having circulatory issues is what you're saying.
I don't know what it is, Josh. I do not know what it is because I'm going to a neurologist. I don't even know what they're going to say, and they're sending me to one.
Yeah.
It's got to be a Marcus Welby thing. It's over for me. It's curtains for me.
Sounds like a little bit of neuropathy.
No, that's not. I'm not as worried about that as the balance issues.
Yeah.
Balance issues.
Are you falling again?
Oh yeah, that's why I went to the. I've never stopped falling.
Oh.
I never have stopped falling really, but it's a balance thing. Like I tried to go across the floor with one foot in front of the other. Do you think the fact that you are, what is it when you're circumspect? You don't go into you don't bring up your stuff all the time. You have a respectful boundary between your private life and your podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's you.
Right.
Me, it's like, well, what do you want to talk about? It's over. The doctor's sending me to a balance therapy. Okay. So you're going to the balance therapy. It's over. And you would be more like, I'm not telling these people. They know so much about me. I'm not going to be revealing any more of my medical information.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but look at all the things you don't get from it. You don't get all the Thought Spiral fans saying, "Oh, Andy, try this. Andy, try that." Right. Okay, this is what I do. Do you ever get the pins and needles in your hand?
Only if I sit on it for like an hour.
Then you squeeze them. You squeeze them to see. And today I squeeze it. I figured if I squeeze it really hard, maybe I'll learn something about it.
Yeah. Then what happened?
And it seemed to be, and I don't know if this is right, that I could compress the area that was pins and needly.
Yeah.
And it would feel like, whoa. It's like an area.
So it's swelling, perhaps?
Is it?
This is what you're describing. Again, I can only go with the words.
Yeah, but that's why. Would you make a lot of money with a doc? You make a lot of money with an online thing like that, with the hypochondriacs.
Yeah.
Call Josh.
Right.
And you just let them talk out their symptoms.
Uh-huh.
So is it pins and needles? I don't know. I'm telling you that they. Okay, well then sounds like you've got. Just stop it. Well, I guess there's no money in that.
No.
There's no money in anything.
It's true. That's what I've found so far.
Except we're doing the best shows that we've ever done, and there's been a lot of talk about going national with our show. We're going national.
We're national, actually.
We're national now?
We're national now, yes.
Can you find our podcast wherever you normally find your other podcasts, or
Yes,
do you have to go through a different procedure?
Yes, you can. The other day I went, Alexa, play Thought Spiral, just to prove it to somebody.
Are you kidding me? That's a sad, sad event. Just to prove it to somebody. You don't have a podcast, idiot. I do so have a podcast. Stop lying. Stop lying, Josh. Alexa, test shows 325 of Thought Spiral, the one where Andy starts naming them like Friends episodes. That was good. That wasn't bad.
No, it was great.
No, say it was great.
It was great.
Ow! I hurt myself. Ow. Okay, I had a bad...
That's the first time my hand hasn't hurt all day.
Oh, Josh. What isn't that the joke? I do this and I do that because it doesn't hurt to make the other thing that you just did, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Coffee's not helping, Josh. Coffee's not helping. So how's everything? Did you know that people used to go "How's by you"? I think it was specifically a Jewish thing.
I think it is a Jewish thing.
It is Jewish, right? How's by you?
Yeah.
Oof.
Ugh.
I like it.
Do
you know why I said that?
I don't mind it so much.
Well, I mind it because at some deep level, you don't want to be associated with other Jews because you think we're self-hating. That's where the self-hating part comes in. Like, we like the Jewish traditions, but don't let other people hear them because they'll think we're a weird ethnic group that needs to be eliminated. That's what you said. You said when they came over here, they said...
That's Andy's superhero. The assimilator.
From what I've learned from you, there were Jews who came over and they went, "How I love this country. Hello to you. Remind me. Take it down. Why should I take it down? I'm a Jew. I'm an immigrant from... we're all immigrants. And then there's, what are you talking about? I should be less of a Jew? Because of why? Because of Hitler? You want, I came here to escape from Hitler, but now be less Jewish? I thought I would get here and yet think a thing that doing, Jew. I'll write a musical when I get here. Stop fiddling with my life. Hey, ho. Ed, what? Your name isn't Eddie. Your name is Schmachwacht. It's Ed. Call me Eddie now. Call me Eddie. Schmachwacht. You let your freak flag fly. What do you mean you don't tell the kids that you can speak Hebrew without vowels? Be proud of it. I think I'm done.
Yeah? All right.
Not bad, though, right?
That was a good run. Much like the Jews, you had a good run.
I'm just laughing in the face of all the tragedy that's happening.
Yes.
You know, you can't help, but you have to laugh sometimes, I think. Crying. Did you hear Michael Strahan? I didn't see it because I don't usually watch the after the game. I know you are a big fan when they pass out the trophy. It's not the Lombardi trophy, but it's some kind of trophy for the AFC and the NFC. And Michael Strahan supposedly got the scores wrong. He ignored Joe Montana, who was standing there, was supposed to be interviewed. That's not good.
No.
That is not good. That's not good, Michael Strahan. That's not a good Michael Strahan performance. He should know what the score was.
It's true.
At halftime.
It's true.
Did you watch? You didn't watch that, right?
I didn't watch that. No.
There was so many great sports. I'll wrap it up with this. There were many great sports on this weekend, and we watched the fantastic Australian tennis, which is very, very good. Won by Sinner.
Yeah. Australian tennis is where they tackle each other.
That's Australian rules tennis.
Ah, okay.
Australian rules. I don't really. That's a popular sport in Australia. Australian rules football.
Yes.
But I don't know what they do.
It's like I think it's either a slightly tougher rugby or a slightly less tough rugby.
And rugby is more of a killer than I think I talked about that last week.
No, your nephew and his collarbone. Boo-hoo.
He did. He hurt his neck. Hey, Josh, I certainly hope that doesn't happen to my grandnephews or nieces. I'm very smart. I was able to figure out how I'm related to my own family. I'm very impressed. Here's the thing. I used to get very down about how stupid I am. But now I'm celebrating it. Like, think about all the less things that are going on in my mind that I could just have fun with as opposed to thinking of a theory.
That's right. It's freedom.
Meanwhile, you're sitting around going, I still feel that the second law of thermodynamics makes no sense in light of another thing that would contain words that I would be impressed if I knew any of those words.
All right.
Astronomy words.
Yeah. It's not so much a physics thing I'm going for.
What were you going for?
No, just, the meaning of life, really.
That's true.
Where you don't have to worry
true.
about those things as a lower.
That's the thing. I hate hanging out with you because you're always like, what's going on in here? Every time you hang around with Josh goes, fuck that. What do you feel? What's happening here? What's happening in the ticker or something like that?
Something like
made
that,
you up to be like that. That's not what you are. I want to tell people that when you go and see Josh, it's not like he's complaining the whole time. Get your elbows on the table.
No, it's not.
No.
I allow a wide berth.
And you're not a curmudgeon in real life.
No, it's just my comedy character.
Yeah, on the show you're like, shut up, you stupid piece of garbage. Is that you?
You're hearing my internal monologue?
You know what? If that's true, I'm glad that you're able to mollify the more extreme examples of your hate. That's better. I hate him. I hate him. I hate his Jewish friend. Good job, Andy. See?
Right.
Internal voice.
Exactly.
Type of thing like that. Type of thing. I decided.
You know what I do? I say the quiet part quietly.
I'm thinking if I could get into how many people have gone into this type of thing in their life? I know how I'll do it. I'll have a kennel service It's the money will come. The money will come. Everyone has a dog. Everyone needs to put their dog somewhere. We'll do it great. We'll charge a lot of money, and that's where the money will come in.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen.
It's not. But I've had those thoughts, sure. Not with kennels. Not with kennels, but especially this weekend. Especially this weekend, because we're under a veterinary cloud right now.
What's wrong?
Little Cody has some issues.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do we know what it is?
We don't. That's the problem. He's got elevated liver numbers that we now have to go to a doggy internist for.
You mean a specialist?
Yes.
So that's like, I assume that's like $60 or $70 a session, maybe.
Yeah,
right?
that's all.
The regular one is like $29.99.
Right.
Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Now, what about behaviorally?
Behaviorally, he's on a good trend, I would say.
Well, what made you was it you just took your usual?
No, yeah, he was in for a chat. He was gonna. They did blood tests and it just came back surprisingly high. Like he has no symptoms or problems, but which is why it was surprising. So.
Well, I'm going to hold a good thought in there for the doggies, and I just every time I see a doggy exiting a veterinarian's office and the look on people's faces that they know that it's hard to herd a dog into a car. Oh God. I thought I had hoped more for this.
Yeah,
I have very much.
I know you had like sort of empathy in mind, but
that may be my worst
not your
personality.
ballywick.
That could be my worst personality trait ever. When I'm trying to be concerned, how you feeling? Like that kind of guy.
Yeah,
not good. NG, as we say. Okay, I'm going to be probably in New York when the Super Bowl is happening.
How long are you going to be there?
6 days.
No, you won't be. You'll be there for the Pro Bowl. Oh no, mid next week. Sorry, I got you.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? That's what got me going.
Gotcha.
I think they used to have another week. They've taken that Pro Bowl, they've turned it into a guaranteed winner with the flag football. And what is this? Is everything with football has to be Eli runs with one team and Peyton does the other? Does everything have to? Is that what happens when you do a sports show eventually? That one time, let's say you do a sports show, and you just come in and you just fucking stab each other because it's so fucking horrible.
Episode 1.
Yeah, but then we just talk about sports all the time, especially with no knowledge of it, like me.
Yeah, that's the most fun.
Sure, if you're a Pat McAfee, that's different. I almost watched Pat McAfee the other day because I wanted to see what the Sturm and Drang was all about.
Yeah,
but I didn't take. I'm 2 and 2. I wouldn't want the guy who's Skip Bayless to think that I was being not fair towards him.
Yeah.
Come on, Josh.
I got nothing. I don't like any of these people.
Something, though. You come in and go, look.
No, you're
Andy,
free associating, and I just am not on board with it.
All right. Now, the Grammys are coming up. I know you're excited.
I am.
I know this show is not about what's coming up and what's happening, and yet and I'm the only one who does these horrible stabs at. Well, you're getting ready for Valentine's Day. That's a typical topic for me.
Yeah.
And then you go, in what way? Well, like, is there any anecdotes about shopping for cards? Maybe?
So will you be away for Valentine's Day as well?
14th. That's the 14th.
I'm aware of that. That's not.
That was so good. That was like it. Don't put. I know when my lady's dates are. You guys don't do Valentine's, right?
It varies from year to year.
That means
never with it. Not with it. We don't do it with gusto ever.
No, I do it with flowers. I can't do that. I don't know if people don't know this. If you put it in the show notes, but I have type 2 diabetes.
I have type 2 diabetes. I have it.
Oh yeah.
He's got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
And it's
that's why the extremity part is seems like.
That's the thing. That's what you're saying, and that means like I could lose a finger within the hour.
That wasn't my thought pattern, but
I put in should I do my oximeter? See how my oxygen is? Or should I do tests that have no result to this? My oxygen, I'm at 93% oxygen uptake.
My hands are tingling. Let me do that mail-in colonoscopy thing.
And I love the way the guy goes like, hey, Cologuard's not and Cologuard is not suitable if you really think that there's a chance that you might have colon stuff.
Right.
Not suitable. Hey, have you been told at an early age that you probably have something going on with your colon? That's not what this is for. This is for somebody who's like, are you 45 years old and you just want, and you know, you're going to have it at 50, but you want to get just one of those bullshit tests?
Are you looking for a false narrative in your life?
Yeah. Excuse me. I did 2 years ago. I did a Cologuard test, and I'm very upset now that it said that it's not good if you were worried about the disease at all. You shouldn't take it under those cases. Did you think you could possibly have it one day? Well, then you should never. It's only for people who know pretty much that they're going to have a normal test. That's going to improve though. Cologuard will improve, and I think people. If you want to know what you have to look forward to at my age.
By the way, don't mistake Cologuard and Cologuard. You're going to get into a big. You'll get your ass kicked.
It sounds like an old Abbott and Costello episode. Oh, you took the Cologuard. That's as close as I got to anything there. Oh, you took the Cologuard. Oh. I bought, the other thing I'm excited about is I have a pair of diabetic socks. Good for diabetes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were nursing them back to health. I love it. Why? There was no diabetes when I was a kid. I think one of my family members had it, but there wasn't even a thing. It was like something you got from a shtetl, diabetes. Now every other person has it. Why didn't they just take away sugar before I got around? Oh, sorry. So I get very emotional about the diabetes. Yeah, but you manage it well.
I just think there's something really ominously, terribly hilarious about inventing something that kind of catches things, kind of may catch something.
Yeah.
I invented Cologuard. You must be very, very happy. Well, not so much, because a lot of people, they didn't get their regular test because they kept doing the Cologuards. Okay, I don't want to get sued by either Cologuard,
right, or Cologuard. Yes. There is a more optimistic take on that, however.
Okay, what's the take is what?
The optimistic take is that there are people so resistant to the evacuate and get the
yes, that they should have that done. Yeah.
That any measure that would alert them earlier.
Yes, and I want to say I apologize for the bit.
No, I'm not scolding you. I'm just saying that.
You know what I realized I think happened today is that you say, you know what, it's way past me trying to modulate it or, slow him down. I'll just let him go on these little runs and then remind him of something after each run. You weren't really talking about they actually, a couple of people have been helped. Oh, they have. Oh. Yes, Andy, for example, someone who was really, really scared of it, but they weren't scared of it just to do the Cologuard. They go, oh, shut up, Josh. You're ruining me. Okay.
All right.
Should I send a note of apology? No.
No.
Oh.
Better to sweep it under the rug at this point.
Like the rest of the things, like the rest of the situations, are shows premiering now? Are the new shows coming out now? Isn't there a premiere week right after the Super Bowl? You can watch on. Well, I know there's no real sitcoms coming out on most of the major your CBSs and your.
Yeah, I'm not really in tune with the.
We have our speech to come up. We have our speech. The speech.
What speech? That's over forever, right?
It is over forever. Okay. Did you get scared for a second? I had to do something. Oh, I just think there's a couple things.
I'm just waiting for late March.
Like what?
I'm waiting for late March.
What's happening in late March?
I need 20 more minutes.
Oh my God. I feel bad for, okay. I would stop listening to the podcast in March because it's all big. I know you told me to, look, I know you told me just take it easy. I don't want to be crying from Austin calling you. I don't need that.
I don't want it either.
Are you saying that you'd be willing to be friends with me, but only if there's a certain amount of growth between the two events?
No, I don't conditionalize it like that. I'm not looking for you to hit certain benchmarks.
I love these. These are definitely economy words. I love those words. Benchmarks.
Yeah.
It's like the dollar has a benchmark to it, right?
Sure.
When this world, when everything went bad, the day they stopped fake saying this much of gold equals this much of paper. That's when it all went bad. Josh, remember the days when
it's called the gold standard, by the way.
Yes, that was the gold standard. There's no better standard, is it? Back then, you knew a dollar was a dollar because it was backed up by a small amount of dust. I would like to hear someone, not Ron Paul Jr., is he Ron Paul Jr.? No, he's Rand Paul and Ron Paul.
Yeah.
One of those guys just admit.
How big a dick are you if you name your kid after Ayn Rand? Seriously.
I thought he named himself Rand.
I don't know.
No, it is. My biggest, first of all, that guy, and I want to say this right now, Ron Paul was such a huge racist. He had a newsletter about it. He had a newsletter, and he couldn't stop being the whole family is at least Rand and Ron are are uber racists, because Rand's whole thing was, look, I wouldn't have gone to a restaurant that didn't serve black people. Back then, I wouldn't have gone because I would have known it was wrong. But I would not have wanted to stop the right of certain people to say, hey, you can't eat in here because you're black. That's freedom? Yeah, that was his argument back. Right. All of those things do end up just being, we're racists. We're fucking racists. We live in Kentucky and we're racist. Even people in Kentucky voted for us because we're so... Well, I don't think Ron's in Kentucky, right?
Rand is. Rand is Kentucky.
Right. I'm still steamed about it. I'm steamed about the Ron Paul move. No. I'm good.
You're more of a Glibertarian.
Give me an example of some Glibertarian things. Glib means explain, because I know if Tom Cruise knows what glib means, and then I should know what glib means, because Tom Cruise wouldn't know a concept or anything if it walked up and. So glib means you're talking, you're saying, you're making. I really don't know what it means.
Well, we can actually give you an actual definition.
Okay.
But before we do, I would say it would be insincere, dismissive with your simplicity.
Yes, that's it.
But let's get the actual.
Don't be glib. Come on, Matt. Don't be glib. And that was before Matt stopped being glib.
Fluent and voluble, but insincere and shallow.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That is it. So in other words, okay, I could say to you, of course I know what voluble means. I've looked it up I've thought about looking it up so many different times. It means like angry, kind of angry in an expressive way.
No, it means that fluently, kind of.
It has no negative to it?
It does. Incessantly, talk to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's right. And we'll be back. I felt bad the other week, and I'll tell you why I felt bad the other week. Because I do think that every part of my mind is charming. But then I realized that I was asking you things that were just heard on a podcast. I had just heard them say Adam Smith. I can't remember his name.
That's
now.
why I had to nip it in the bud.
So, but I don't want people to think that we don't know things. But I think the truth is that most people, you don't know things once you know things and they go to a different part of your mind. That's just,
I know things on an answer a Jeopardy question about it level and no deeper for the most part.
Wow.
So I'm not conversant in Adam Smith and I'm not conversant in Karl Marx. Right. I have opinions that probably mirror some of both of those things.
Right, yes.
But if I don't want to end up sounding blowhardy,
but I think I made it worse. I made that the opposite of blowhardy. Like I made us sound like people who've never heard words before. But you don't know what people are saying. Bougie all over the country. I still don't quite. Right. I think bougie is like you want to be rich. You want to be.
That's what I think it is too. It is the or wanting the sort of superficial, the superficial trappings of wealth.
But then when you
flying
look back,
first class is bougie.
It's bougie. That's right. And it's absolutely necessary. So where does that put me if you're going to be given first class?
Bougerama.
Right, but then you're an idiot if you don't take it. What do you call someone? You're bougie if you fly, but if you don't take your brother's airfare in first, then you're just a moron or something, right?
Yeah, that's right into stupid. So your brother's wife is flying you out?
My brother's wife is. Well, here's the thing. My brother's wife. It was supposed to be a surprise,
right?
And then I wake up today to.
We knew you'd blew it, so we told him.
I just told Rob. Yeah, I think it's better that he knows.
It totally is. First of all, you're not that great at surprise.
That's exactly. I know that you're putting me down, but I actually believe it. It's like a hee haw. Who comes back in that movie that is like that is a surprise? His brother comes back from war.
Sure,
that's a surprise. Yeah. Hee haw.
Yes. That's Sam Wainwright hee haw.
Why does he say hee haw?
That's Sam Wainwright's thing, and it made him a millionaire.
Every week, I think of one of the other. Yeah, like Sheldon Leonard. Yeah, get out of here, yeah. Does he say?
We serve hard drinks for men who want to get drunk fast, and we don't need characters around to give the joint atmosphere. Now, do you get me, or do I have to slip you my left as a convincer? That's another reason why I don't like you. If he's a jailbird, you're a jailbird too. Out you two pixies go. Through the door or out the window.
I don't ever remember when I was...
Get me, I'm giving out wings.
I've been hearing more and more people talk about what a great movie that is. And it is really a great movie.
I don't know you from Adam's off ox.
Oh my God. You know too many. You know too much of this.
I know
now, this
it
is
all.
something that you're not planning. You just can't get it out of your head.
It's all there.
But
I know that movie like you know your medical chart.
Okay, but actually the A1C is not exactly that. Actually, let me see what you're looking at. Oh, is that a kidney function test? Oh, you're albumin? Don't worry about it. I want to be one of those guys. Don't worry about it.
I told you not to worry about putting on a new albumin.
Do you think we should refer to it as an album?
I do.
Not in America, but I mean, can you say something? I think of it as audio only is more like an album, but that's not even right either.
I think of it as an album, yeah. It's a collection of tracks.
Now you're talking. Why am I looking at you like
I don't
pointing
know,
at
but
you?
I just like we're in love, it's almost like.
I know. Do you think that if there was a sexual tension between us, the show would be less popular, be more popular, or C would have more multiple choice parts to it? See how funny I am? You know I'm funnier than somebody who doesn't talk incessantly, right? Just by the proof. Just by the proof.
There's comedy in your volubility.
Don't be glib. But was Matt being glib? That's maybe what threw me off, was he wasn't necessarily being glib.
Who?
It was Matt Lauer.
Yeah.
when Matt Lauer was asking Tom Cruise about Scientology.
Yeah.
He goes, don't be glib. You're being glib, Matt. But he said it like he had just heard the word before the interview.
Right.
Tom Cruise, look, here's my Scientologist. I do not enjoy the Tom Cruise style Scientologist. I don't have as much problem with the John Travolta style, even though
I don't know why. I don't think it's that much different.
Well, because John Travolta isn't like, yeah, you expressive? Have I? He doesn't do all that stuff. He's more comfortable within his own skin,
I suppose,
because he knows it's not going to be his skin. It's going to be a
Thetan.
What a horrible. Okay, I'm not going to. I feel like I go into things that people are like, Andy, word for word, episode 74, word for word. It's got to be something. It's got to be like that.
There's plenty.
Hey,
There's plenty.
Have I ever told you? Have I ever told you about how much I was jealous of Adam Sandler when I was coming up, and that it ruined my career?
Yes, please drop the needle and tell me again.
Oh, so I was very good friends with Judd Apatow. We were very good friends, and I said, you know what? Why don't I ruin that friendship by, instead of just telling Adam Sandler he sucks, doing it behind his back? How did it get to him? How would he? How would I know that would get to a comic if you talked on stage about him?
I know. Usually showbiz adheres to Cosa Nostra-like secrecy.
You really made a nice meal out of Cosa Nostra.
Thank you.
Do you think we've refined the bum to the bop, 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 but we've added more, cha, 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 cha. Why don't you go home and put that in your, well, I'm not giving the words, but in other words, we're bringing the comedy form one step further to, not funny.
Yeah, it's true. Let's take a step back.
That's true. And what was the word that we just learned earlier? It's a benchmark. It's a benchmark.
I did. This is a dangerous ground, of course, but I did look up the data for why I have a hard time watching football.
Oh, okay.
And
I want to get
in a 3-hour plus game, there is an average of 11 minutes of game action.
How much?
11 minutes of game action, of actual when the play is in progress.
Oh my God, that's not a lot.
And 100 commercials.
Yeah, I can see. I do see it, but I think it has to do with the fact that there's no
So the only way I can watch a football game intently is to start an hour late and be able to fast forward between plays and between commercials.
No, not even the two games. These last two games.
Well, I couldn't work it, so I could start them an hour late this week. But the first game, I paused it for a long time, so I could do just that, and then I can watch sections of the game intently.
Well, I'm thinking to the zone 6 and the zone 7. See, I'm on a whole different level when I'm watching.
I know.
Is that a zone 3? Is that a zone 2? He's got a cover back. Tony Romo is the king of saying incomplete. Like, there's more that if he said it, it would be a complete statement. But he's very similar to me in a way. He'll start like, I can't believe it, even that shit. Oh, man. But, no, you're talking about Mahomes. He kind of, and I think I like what he does. But God, why do I want to be a critic? I could never be a critic because I'm too critical.
Too critical, exactly.
No, I don't have the words for it.
Well, there's that.
And also, I'm not smart.
No, very, very not smart.
What if they find out after I die that I was stupid? Will you feel bad, or you feel more justified in kind of treating me, and every time I turn my back going, wee, wee, wee. What if they find I was crazy when I'm dead? Will you feel bad that you went, wee, wee?
No, I'll feel like I got the diagnosis.
We have such fear of mental illness in the world that we turn it into some kind of a wee, wee.
You know what? I would actually say that we've embraced mental illness in the world.
That's another way of looking at it, right?
I mean?
That's true. That's true.
I think people tend to lead with their mental illness now more than ever.
I don't talk about my things.
No, you're very discreet, but
I'm circumspect.
Others, yes.
I'm circumspect.
Yes.
Oh, don't be circumspect. What if he said that? Don't be circumspect, Matt. That's how the word sounded to him.
Yeah.
Don't be counterfactual. You're being counterfactual, Matt. But who would have known that Matt, and I keep forgetting, and I'm sorry about this, I keep forgetting did not pass away in an accident in France in the middle of the show about him. That's not that show. The morning show is not about Matt Lauer.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I had no idea what you were talking about because I don't watch that show.
Yes, you do. No, but no, he's now dead. So but I keep
the Matt Lauer character is now dead.
The Matt Lauer character. But have you seen Matt Lauer? I mean, where in the world is Matt Lauer? Well, used to be a bit, but now he really isn't. I thought by this time he would have something on. What's that terrible news? Is it called News Nation? The one that what's his name's on?
Where Cuomo went.
Yeah, where Cuomo went. That's right. Yes. That's still chugging along. It chuggles along on Channel 16, Channel 17.
It used to be WGN.
Oh.
That's what changed.
Now, do you know what? That I actually, in the old days, had a great feeling about WGN because that's where the Chicago Cubs were on.
Yeah.
So I remember, but I also thought they had at some point some programming, but probably just all sitcoms.
They had the Bozo show for a long time too.
They were Bozo?
Yeah.
All right. You know a little too much about the history of the different things.
No, I just got cable when I was 10.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this then. What's Paramount UPN now? What are they? How did they land?
I think if there's any part of it, it got folded into the CW.
Right, and now the CW is still around?
I think so, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. But that's right. Well, that's right.
That's right.
You know, sometimes I walk around and I go, I don't think my life will be complete unless I meet that woman. But I can. This is the genius of the Josh Elvis Weinstein oeuvre. If you saw that woman, she wouldn't look like Liza.
No,
she wouldn't look like Liza.
No. She never looked like Liza. She only sounded like Liza.
And she wouldn't. You wouldn't be. It wouldn't be as delightful as you. It wasn't as delightful. But I bet
no,
it was.
Delightful. No, it was delightful. It really was. There was like she was looking to make a connection. and I'd like to think I gave her something. I gave her a little something back.
I just realized how sad my life is that so much of my life is like if we're
That's what I'm here for. The cotton candy grapes.
The cotton candy. I say a big huzzah. No, I can't do it. But you know what? Why can't I be satisfied that you do the voices, that you're a man of 1,000 mirths?
No, you brought a good Norm Macdonald last week.
And also,
Don't try again.
But I did do. Oh, Merry Christmas, y'all. I think I do a decent. Merry Christmas, y'all.
You don't.
I don't.
You don't.
Merry Christmas, y'all. Janie, if I see your fingers near that piano one more time, I'm going to hit it with the banister. Okay, I'm getting a little bit too outre.
Yeah.
I don't want you to hang up on me, though.
No, not before awarding you the most valuable player award.
It makes the boom, 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 boom. It makes the boom, 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 boom. It makes the boom, 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 boom. It makes the boom, 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 boom. It makes the
people. What you gonna do? Do what Andy says. Let's make some move. I said people. Listen to what you now. Got no choice but to make some move. Let's make some move. We'll make some move. We'll make some move. We'll make some move. Come on now. Come on now. We'll make some move. Come on now. Let's all. We'll make some move. We'll make some move.
Why? How long was that?
About what you said. About 15, 20 minutes, whatever it was.
That's how long it takes a Jew to eat a bagel fast.
I was trying to think of a better punchline for how long does it take a Jew to eat a bagel.
Oh, go ahead. Say.
No, I didn't.
Is that what you said?
No.
It wasn't chew my food?
No, it was not.
It wasn't chew my food. Okay.
No, it's not. It was literally about chewing your food, but
that would be a funny show, like, not like so much an anti-Semitic show, but just like Jews eating, Jews competing to eat bagels, and I don't know.
But not anti-Semitic.
Not anti-Semitic in any way.
Like the non-anti-Semitic version of that.
Is there pro-Semitic? Because if there is, that's what I want to do with it.
I think there is.
So you have no word for us, right?
Dog word? No.
No dog word.
The dog
Except
is
lucky.
Lucky at least to the eye test and field test was very healthy at her checkup yesterday, but we're waiting on blood work.
An eye test?
The sight test.
AEO.
No. Passing the eye test, like I look at it, and she
like
looks
what?
good. Oh God, damn! It's like talking to I don't know who.
Someone stupid. First of all,
yes.
Someone not really here. I'll have to tell you though,
It's
if I
like
hadn't
the
had
smell test, but with the eyes.
Oh, I think I'm dying. Now, Joshua.
Yes.
I never call you Joshua.
It's good. It's good that you don't.
I was going to say there's someone above us is vacuuming, and but I don't think you can hear it.
I can't.
I can't hear it right now, so maybe they stopped.
Ah.
And you know what?
But at least you got a story out of it, right?
You know what I said? I said to Susan, I says, were they running a bowling alley?
I saw Andy and I saw each other at the store yesterday.
I can't even believe
Andy had the opportunity to do any number of bits.
This was the best bit I've ever done because people, if you really want to know what Josh Elvis Weinstein is out, he's not out delightfully going down the supermarket thing, whistling down the supermarket lane.
I was in a super shitty mood yesterday too.
Well, what I shouldn't have done. Well, this is always what I shouldn't have done. What I shouldn't have done. No, I did everything right except the sneak attack.
Andy's funny bit. Funny bit.
Tell him how funny it was. Set it up right though.
Apparently, it was just to sort of invade my personal space without me seeing him, but really getting in there. And it was already a day at the store where everybody was oblivious to everybody else anyway. So I was just trying to get around to somebody to get to the meet I was at.
You apologized to me for
despite the fact that you were the one invading the personal zone.
No, you didn't. It wasn't a good apology. It was like that, right?
No, it wasn't. I'm nice to strangers. It's once I knew it was you that I was disappointed.
No, but even when you did say something like, sorry, like that.
Maybe.
Sorry. Or maybe you were unconscious. Anyway, it was so great. And we went out and got coffee. And actually, this was a thing where you had it did have an semi-ice cream situation going.
No,
right?
No, it was the grocery store. I was just going about my business. Why? Because I had
frozen
items?
If you had talked to me for a long time, the meat would have spoiled.
I don't think so. I don't think it has.
No?
I don't think it's that tight a window. No.
Well, maybe I was wrong to run from you when I had the ice cream.
No, it was good. It was good that you left.
But man, oh man alive, you could see the yin yang of Josh Elvis Weinstein. I am like the mayor of the supermarket when I go in. Hello, everyone. I see that you're shopping.
I'm especially sick of the supermarket right now because I've been a lot lately. So I've got to I'm like, ugh, don't want to be here.
Right,
This is like loved one blood test week. Both dogs and my wife have gone to the doctor. Allison's came out great, by the way.
Allison?
Yes, I said all my loved ones, my 2 dogs and my wife. You don't
wait. I don't. But that's too much food to chew. Your wife had blood tests too?
Yeah, she just had her physical this week.
Everything's good.
Everything's great. Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, but the doggies—they don't go to the same doctor, right?
No,
your wife
Allison.
And the dogs, right?
No.
That would be a great deal.
But they're all pricey.
Yes, there's nothing unpricey when you go. We're going to. When you say you're going to a doggy intern, aren't you at a doggy intern when you go to the vet?
No, internist, not an intern.
Why do you say it like that?
Because they're different things.
What did I say?
Intern.
Oh, internist.
Yeah.
An internist is someone who deals with the internal sides of anything.
Internal organs, yes, and
that's pretty good.
They're specialists.
So you're saying if I'm an general internist, can I then work on people? Is that true? Though, just say it's true that I can work on different species. You have to be licensed. I understand that.
Yeah, if you just want a hobby, that's fine. Whatever you want to do is fine.
Susan asked me the other day how
just
close
don't
are we
bring
to
it
dogs?
to work with you.
How close are we to dogs?
What does that mean?
As physically, like you know how we're 95% monkey or 99% monkey.
Yeah.
Are we 80% dog? No, it's not a good question.
I'm just going to let that float.
You're not going to let no. Do we have 80% the exact same organs? You know, they go. You take a monkey, you take a man.
We have the same organs. They're just not shaped the same or arranged all alike.
So don't do willy nilly transplants.
Heart, lung, liver, kidneys, pancreas. They got them all.
All right. Okay. Well, you know, we send our prayers to. Well, the dogs won't appreciate our prayers.
Sure they do. Sure, as much as I do.
No, I had a dog. Not a dog, I had a kitty who was just horrible to take into the vet. And sometimes we'd go to the bathroom when they got into the room out of fear.
No, none of our dogs like it.
None of our dogs. How do they know they're not going to some fabulous affair or something?
Because we never take them to fabulous places. We pretty much just take them to the vet. So.
Yeah, but I thought doggies would be like, yeah, we're going out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't want to go out. They don't see road trip. That's not what they're thinking.
It depends what their past experience with going out has borne out.
Did they have their ear? Did they have their food?
What?
That you made for them? You bought food for them.
Yes, I did.
And what do? You braise it? How do you prepare a dog food? I mean, dog bones.
This was just beef that we give them to.
Oh yeah, it looked like beef.
To sweeten the deal with their dog food a little bit. But so if I see a good piece of cheap but very lean meat, I'll buy it.
Oh, I see. That's like that means you have special love for your dogs that most people don't even imagine.
I think that's true. I think I am absolutely at the apex of dog indulgence.
You really are. When I saw you, when I saw the video of Cody getting out of the covers, that was fantastic.
Pretty funny.
Is that a joke? Is that a thing you do a lot? What are you doing in there? Does he like to do that? Does she like to do that?
It's a he.
Does he like to do that?
He likes to go. He likes to go into the covers, and then he gets lost once he's under there.
Oh, I had something to say that was good. Oh, here's what I wanted to say. I have a situation. You know, Sue Q, our friend Sue Q. She's like one of our. Well, she's been one of my internet friends forever.
Uh-huh.
She was a nurse for many, many years. I believe she was a nurse, or not a doctor or something. But she, I think that she diagnosed what's happening with my pins and needles.
Yeah.
On my hand. It's from holding the microphone. Or whatever it is for all these years. It's whatever happens when you do this repeatedly. No?
No.
Well, why do I have pins and needles in my hand?
I don't know, but you've done stand-up, twice in the last 3 years? I don't think it's
it used to happen. It used to happen when I was I should have prefaced this, that it used to happen a lot when I was doing stand-up. I remember doing this for like a lot of times when I'm on stage. It's
probably because you're gripping with your life. Seriously.
Well, I don't feel that way. I feel like right now it's not.
Well, no, you're not afraid of me.
I'm afraid of you?
I said you're not afraid of me, therefore you don't have quite the grip on your mic that you would in front of a room full of judgmental strangers.
Oh, I see. You're talking about the judgmental quality of the crowd,
yes,
and how that affects. This is usually I'm better earlier. I don't think I got up early.
It's not a very connective conversation. I'm thinking.
No. It's I usually I get up around 8:30 and I'm ready to go by 10. I got up 10 minutes before you texted me. And I even said to myself, am I doing this right? Because I couldn't find the text where you said what time you were getting back from the doggies. So I was very confused. Well, when did you say you were getting back from the doggies? You never said?
We had talked about doing it at 1, but then I didn't realize I was going to have to go back and forth to the vet because of the testing.
So Sue Q has these things they're called massage guns, and have you seen them?
Yeah.
You have one?
Like one of these deals?
Yes. And how do you have it within arm's reach of your rig?
Because this is where I'll use it.
And does it work?
It works on some things, yeah.
Like she says, it'll really like relax your hands and your. What do you use it for? I'm not being. Don't look up by my face. What do you use it for?
I use it for my leg issues, and I use it for back massaging, neck and trapezius kind of massaging.
Well, if you do it on the floor, okay, I'll figure out how to do it. And do you have a brand that you love?
Well, I have the deluxe big hyper ice thing.
Oh, what?
You'll see frequently on NBA sidelines.
Oh my god! I got this really sick feeling that you have some stuff you bought from the NBA shop or something like that. Yeah. Did you buy an NBA? So this thing is on the sidelines all the time. You'll often see the players with.
Sorry, my TV just unmuted on its own. We were talking about the Hyper Ice massage gun.
Right. Yes. So I'm going to get something like that, but I don't know how to use it yet, and I hope it's good for travel for New York. Why didn't you tell me about that earlier?
Because I don't talk about things like that, because they aren't that interesting.
Well,
I bought a vibrating massaging gun 3 years ago.
Well, because I immediately went to I jumped to the worst conclusion that I don't think I'd be a good neurologist.
I used it last night because I had leg cramps in the middle of the night. My shins seized up.
Wow.
And I got up and went to my office and tried to uncramp them using that.
And did it work?
It helped, yeah.
Man, how often do you get cramps? I don't get cramps.
Not that often.
You get cramps enough that you know that what's happening. I would be like, my lower body's on fire, somebody call the police. How would you know to do that?
Well,
because you know how it feels.
Well, I have particular attention to my leg muscles and nerves. So
my leg muscles are, first of all, attractive, A. B, sinewy. I walked 7 miles yesterday. You like that? You like that crap?
That lie?
So do I. I had 2 walks yesterday.
Yeah.
I only lie when I exaggerate. I don't actually. If I said I did 7 miles.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you don't think I did 7 miles? You do. You believe me, right?
Not only do I believe you, but I don't care.
Well, that's your whole shtick. That's what you specialize in. Okay, well, I've done 212 steps so far today.
That's unimpressive.
Right, but I walked to the.
I've done 212 steps today, and I'm hurt.
Right, no, that's not impressive. But I just got up. I just ran to the phone, saw you, ran to get. It's very hard for me to get prepared.
Most of those 212 steps were panicked circles.
No, that's the old Andy. The new Andy is a very, very. It's almost like you couldn't even tell I have OCD or emotional problems now. They so seldomly come up. And so it's like a walk in the park with me. Just saying everything, every activity.
Walk in the park.
You'll be sorry when I don't get diabetes. That's the only negative positive is that you won't get something if I walk forever. I might not get it. But my ophthalmologist said, "Oh no." I said, "He goes, oh, your eyes look great. And, you got this and the pressure and the boom boom." I said, "That's great. So probably not going to have something like that." "Oh no, you can get it. You can get it immediately." The way he said it is,
this is your experience with every doctor. You don't have this. That means I'm in the clear. Oh no, you aren't. No, stop telling yourself that, sir.
Well, that got me to be thinking that. I thought I had the diabetes at bay, but what they're saying is I had the diabetes at bay more than most people, but don't let that think you can sleep comfortably at night.
You don't have you aren't at risk of losing the diabetes. You have well managed. You have type 2 diabetes, but you manage it well.
I'm a little bit of a pill. You know that, right? I'm a little bit of a pill, and I have a big story.
That's what I was referencing.
Is pill one of your things, like from your family too?
No.
Is that Jewish?
No, but I do.
What a pill!
But I do love calling you a little pill with a big story to tell.
But you heard the expression "what a pill," right?
Have you seen the ad for that weight loss thing where the tagline is this woman? How can such a little prick be so powerful?
What is it? What's it for?
Yeah, it's like one of those Golo or shoot yourself with. It's it's off label semaglutide.
There is somebody in the off label making so much money with some of these things that I mean, sure, I Goalie all day. But somebody says all of a sudden they come into vogue. So why are you laughing at?
I was laughing because there was another commercial thing I saw yesterday.
I say, what did you get?
Kathy Lee Crosby, or whatever, Gifford is her name now, I guess. Whoever she is, doing the nature balance, the capsules of fruits and vegetables, that thing.
You mean
balance of nature? Balance of nature.
Are you kidding me?
And her quote was I've been taking it for a couple of years now, and I can't tell you how much it's helped me.
I could.
She literally can't tell you.
You know, to me, when they say "Have you no shame," it's for when you do commercials like that, and or Bitcoin or anything like that's, I
don't know. I would put Kathy Lee Gifford in the balance of nature class of endorsers now. That's
true. I mixed her up with a second with the woman who's on now.
Yeah. Yeah, she's one product notch above.
She doesn't do it. She doesn't. I mean, she wouldn't even.
I'm sure Kelly Ripa does plenty of endorsements, but they can't be videotaped. She insists on film.
Well, she didn't say what Joe Klecko said, or was it Mark Gastineau? She didn't say, I'm not making a goddamn dollar from this. Well, that's not what he said, because I'm not making any money from this.
Right.
And so what's the between the lines there? That where is the money?
His wife is getting.
That was a very clever dodge. I don't do commercial. I don't get paid for commercials.
He didn't say we're not getting money. He didn't say we. Yes.
If you're referring to the limited liability corporation, Gastineau Enterprises, yes, they are getting paid.
Or as I call it, my better half.
I can't remember now if it's Gastineau or Klecko.
I think it's
Klecko or Gastineau. Okay, well, wait. You know how much they would pay?
He's the one I've heard of.
I went to a pot store the other day, which is every story starts out that way, and they had a picture on the wall of Cheech.
Yeah.
And and it was not, Chong was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Cheech was just
doing an ad for Twitter, weirdly enough.
He is? No. Oh, why did you say something that's informational, even though it's stupid, and then you expect me not to buy it? Who are we talking about now? God damn it.
Andy's not here, man.
So I was thinking, Cheech, it's like, someone got upset with me, not somebody, just somebody online when I said, stop selling those stupid things. You stop selling me these stupid things. And then most people were like, oh yeah, I don't know somebody said, what's wrong with those things or something like that? What's wrong with what he's doing?
No.
They weren't angry, but they were surprised, as if that would be normal that you'd expect. You expect all your, he's not a hero of mine. Cheech and Chong are not heroes of mine. So it wouldn't be like Bob Dylan doing first of all, Bob Dylan does anything. Those days are over now. You're not Bill Hicks. I'm not Bill Hicks. And we both need a lot of money. So whatever it takes.
Bob Dylan broke it open for people to sell their stuff to commercials.
How does it feel? How does it feel? Your trust. How about Bob Dylan?
He went with trust.
I'm Bob Dylan for jockey underwear. Oh, I can't even do Bob Dylan. It's bad. It's bad. I can still do this, though. Liza, do another one. I won't do another one unless one of my people brings me out to the great.
See, that's what I would have figured you would have done at the grocery store, sneaking up on me. Yeah. That's what I'm here for. The 100% choice chuck roast.
That would have been better because you would have heard me from a distance, and it would have said, "What's that annoying sound?" It wouldn't have been right in your face.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a part of me that was like expecting you to go, "This guy, right? This guy. What are the odds that he's right here now? This is a guy I do a podcast with. Now he's right here in the supermarket." Sorry, everybody. Do you know Andy Kindler? And I'm Josh Elvis Weinstein. You don't listen to music. You weren't listening to music, and you were unmasked. I couldn't even fucking believe it.
Right.
Unmasked.
And you gave me shit for it, and then you immediately took down your mask and started talking to me with your mask down. So right away, you're the dick.
I used to hope you don't have it because I don't need. I wouldn't have done the prank if I knew you were sick.
Oh, he doesn't wear a mask, and then he takes his mask down.
How? It's not the devil. It's not the devil. It's me, Bob. Oh, Bob, you got me again there, Bob.
All right, let's go to questions.
Okay. Is it that bad?
It's a little incoherent, and I don't want to have to wrestle with more of this in post.
I don't like this whole thing that you do. I don't like this whole thing you do where you act as if I'm some kind of like doll that you're moving around the room. All right, let's go to the questions, doll. All right.
I was thinking meat puppet, but whatever. Doll is fine.
Oh, I hope you don't get to that part where you think, I have the best lines. You know I have the best lines. And nice try, but not so good.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
Oh my God, people are going crazy. Pickle says, whenever I'm flipping around, maybe we should do a time. What if we go, hey, we can't accept this question because it was from last year? Can we do that at one point?
We can if you'd like, but this is the last.
No.
This is the last one from last year, December 30th. This was last.
Look, I would never. The last thing I want to do is to cause trouble in the Pickles camp.
The Pickleverse.
Pickleverse. Whenever I'm flipping around and come on one of those shows where they show an hour's worth of tsunami video, I always stop and watch until the commercial. But the men in the videos sound like Michael Caine. I think you're doing kind of too.
Half the men in the videos sound like Michael Caine.
Half the men in the videos. Was that important that you had to change it for me?
No, I don't know. I hadn't figured out the whole picture. I just wanted to.
I think you're doing two jokes there. You're doing a joke about Michael Caine. You're doing a joke about tsunami videos. There's two different premises going on there. It's confusing.
I can't latch on to either, really.
Okay.
Because I don't know tsunami videos enough to know for the Michael Caine reference to ring the bell. Go, yeah, it's true. Everyone does sort of.
Julian Valentich is a comedian. Should Biden debate Trump? If so, any debate conditions he should insist on? Wow, people don't usually go to us for the hot off the press type of things. Is that an actual thing where he might not debate him?
I suppose it's a possibility, but I
hope he doesn't debate him.
I suspect that Biden wants to debate him early and often.
He's getting worse, your man,
because
Trump,
the key word in debate is bait.
Dan Marsh says, hey guys, in a recent test show, you mentioned the Hack's Handbook that Andy wrote for National Lampoon. What's different about being a hack in 2024 than it was in 1991? There's tremendous difference. You could get away with more stock stuff that you probably couldn't get away with now. I don't think there's any way you could be a hack now and thrive like you could during the comedy boom.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's true, but I think
I don't know if that's true either. So what's my point?
I think hacks can still thrive, but
hacks are still around. You have Adam Carolla, or do you mean like new generation hacks?
I'm sure there's new generation hacks. We were just talking about Joe Coy the other day, and you were calling him a hack.
What's up with your? I told you. Did I tell you Jonah Ray? Jonah Ray pointed out to me that it's a strange joke because, and I looked it up too, even after he said it. So I have two people coming in now. You know that their language was taken away from them in Hawaii. The colonial language was forced on them by the British, and their language was they tried to destroy the language. So now you're on stage, you're going, ooh ha! What is this with the ooh ha ha? Ooh. They're making fun of the vowels, but they destroyed much of the language.
Right, but isn't Joe
Coy? So it's kind of weird.
Isn't Joe Coy Filipino, however?
It doesn't. I know. Does he think I don't have to look it up because I'm Filipino? Is it Filipino the same as being from Hawaii?
It's not at all.
Right. So, but he's saying I'm like you people. I'm from another minority, so I can say the worst things then. Under the guise of this is me. I'm talking about me now. Hey, what's up with you people? Can't you get used to the fact that your language was stolen from you and they tried to eradicate you as a culture? I would think that he would be even more politically aware, Joe Coy. Take it over.
But, I think the difference in terms of hacks then and hacks now is, it's just it's hack because it is it's generic within the style of the day.
Right, but it doesn't even have to be. Hack could be all of these people like Joe Rogan too, are hacks because they're they're not. It's not a new style of hackness. They're the same. Does that hack or just someone doing their job so poorly and capitalizing on the general misery in the world? Is that like a thing that has changed or hasn't changed?
I don't know. I don't think that's inherently hack to capitalize on the misery of the world.
Well, yes. Why are you pulling out my things out of context? No, but I mean,
How about this?
Okay.
I don't know what you're saying. Why don't you say it again?
I'm identifying one form. There's different forms of being a hack, right? So you could go. There's the guy does stock jokes.
Right.
That's one form of being a hack. Another form of being a hack is that you're just much like a fascist taking advantage of, a fascist in their own business doing their thing. This is there's a whole market for being a fascist comic. There's a market for it. So in that sense, it's a more complicated thing that I'm not saying that well, but it is a hack thing. If you decide to be like Owen Benjamin, do you know him? You maybe know him.
I know who basically.
Okay.
Is, yeah.
Well, what did he do?
I don't know.
He's making money from just saying black people are inferior and whatever his shtick is. It's all about saying the most awful thing. I guess you don't hear these comics that much, or you don't care about them that much.
Oh.
But I'm trying to think. I'm not even saying it is a hack movement, but it's different from what I remember. I don't remember. You had Durst. You had Durst making money off. You had Durst. No, he really wasn't. He was just doing political comedy. But here's like an issue that these guys, or like Rob Schneider with the Canadian fire department or whatever. No, what were they trying to? What was the trucker boycott? The trucker boycott. That wasn't those things weren't around. That's a whole new level, but it might not be hack. It just might be evil. Where Rob Schneider is getting involved in the Canadian trucker.
Yeah, but that also has nothing to do with his act. That's just him as a celebrity.
I don't think that's true because they bring that into their act. They're trying to bring it into their act. Like what's his name was doing it too. Who's the guy that from the island who did Goat Boy? he was trying to get mileage out of. I can't say anything now.
Right.
I'm an aggrieved person. So I guess those aren't specifically hack. They're just unpleasant things that people do. Right?
Sure.
Take over, Josh, because it's not working for me. Whatever I'm doing is not working.
BD West says, guys, I've been wondering if Mama Dick III allows guitar playing around there or bass in that place, drumming going on, or piano players in there, reefer smoking roundabout, or does Mama Dick allow them playing all the same time? Shout out to JJ Cale and Mama Dick.
My God, this is like must be another show.
Tweet Pahara says, more Midnight Cowboy thoughts. How does Ratso Rizzo have an Italian name when he's such a Jewy little nebbish? Acting. It's called acting.
Yeah, and I think it's been considered generally true that Jews and Italians can be interchangeable.
They can be cross-stereotyped.
Cross-stereotyped. Don't call me Boops, she says. Am I the only one that feels sad that poor Stewie only got 1 week to bask in the glory of Andy's best friend spot before being replaced with Gary Goldman? Oh, my God. That sounds like the type of thing that would cause a rift between my newfound relationship with Stewie Lerman.
Or Gary Goldman. Who knows?
Or Gary Goldman. I don't want to... but we still haven't followed up on our thing yet.
Alex is going to contact Gary.
Oh. So Alex contacted me today and he said, Andy. Was that what that was about? 2 minutes before the show? Andy.
Probably. He didn't know we were about to do a show.
Oh, but he had just talked to you?
Yes.
I thought something had happened positively for my career that he was responding to it. Andy! But no, that's what he's doing.
No.
Go ahead. Continue doing what we do.
Seth Dick III says, I was right. The Lions are losers. They suck. Dan Campbell should check into a hotel as Mr. Zur, Louis Zur, Lou for short. Think how the nut jobs could have spun him into a blue-collar, parenthetically, white hero, but he fucked up because after all he is said and done, the Lions suck. A lot of hostility.
Well, I for some reason, usually...
My next door neighbor, who I also ran into at the grocery store the other day, I was asking him, he's from Detroit, and I said, you ready for the Lions? And he's like, yeah, I just want a good game. We're already playing on house money.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're angry at Dan Campbell because he didn't go for a field goal, right?
I think so.
Isn't that what they're angry at?
Yeah, and it was a bad move. It was a dumb move.
It was a dumb move because how long was the field goal?
Well, but you needed both is the point. You needed both a field goal and a touchdown.
To make it a 3-score thing, you mean?
No, he would have tied it up.
No, I must have been watching the wrong game. They were ahead by 2 scores, is what I thought everyone said.
They were
instead of getting ahead by 3 scores, he decided to go on 4.
Something like that.
Okay, it's something like that. But you can't do it on a morning like this where I'm already been looked at as a kind of a specimen. I feel like a specimen a little bit because I can't solve my ability to be coherent. So so that just got me even more confused.
Right. Well, I should never have counted on my football retention to get me through a conversation.
Yeah, that would have been okay. So, do you not have Johnny Whoops?
I do.
Okay. I don't have the other thing that you read. That's what I'm saying. Normally, this lines up good with the latest.
Not interesting.
Now
Johnny Whoop says, for Andy, do you think growing up and living through the dawn of gay rights caused your generation to have the most prevalent gay panic? For some of you, having it is still jarring to see, so rare yet spasmodic.
I think that it was worse before us. I mean, our generation, you couldn't even say you were gay. Am I missing the point of this too?
I don't know. I think he's really trying to zets you for your homophobic jokes.
Oh, okay. I don't get that. Did I have a lot of homophobic jokes?
Yeah, the occasional. Whenever, it's always you'll try to end the thing with it, and then we had sex. The sort of brush off.
Right, I get it.
Dismissive.
But boy, I'm telling you that really Johnny Whoops, you eluded me with that, because I don't think of myself. I can, on any topic, I can, if I talk about black people. He doesn't know
about the people before you because you're the oldest generation we have access to.
True. Q-Lock says, I watched a John Cleese reel which declared that he was the funniest actor at playing angry. Is there anyone better at funny anger? I was thinking of people like Jason Alexander, Sam Kinison, and George Carlin, but still think John Cleese is the best. I don't see that from him. I don't isolate that that's what he does.
Well, you've never seen Fawlty Towers.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I've seen every episode of that.
Uh-huh.
Do you really think I don't know anything about the Monty Python? We've talked about Fawlty Towers before.
No, you've acted like you know nothing about Monty Python before.
No, I said I don't know the movies like I know one of The Life of Brian. I know but I don't know all the weekly things. I never stuck up with them.
Right.
Caught up with them.
I think John Cleese is exceedingly good at playing exceedingly angry, but I wouldn't say he's necessarily the best ever. I mean, you have to factor in Jackie Gleason,
right?
Carol O'Connor. I don't count Sam Kinison and George Carlin because that was in the context of stand up.
I'm sorry, someone's calling me. I don't know who it is. Right. I guess I'm just reacting to the fact that I don't think that normally about that. That's something even with Jason Alexander. Even I think that that's one of the things he does. But so I'm just reacting to the narrowness of the.
Well, they don't say that they solely play angry. They're just saying that they are the funniest at doing so.
Okay,
they aren't saying that they're constantly angry. They're saying that when they play angry, they're the best at it.
Okay, so they'll say it this way. I never saw that as a category, and I still don't see that as a category from that, because I don't think of John Cleese. If it was that prevalent in my mind, I would go, "Oh, I can't wait till he gets mad." I don't think of Jason Alexander as getting mad. He's just like Jerry. He's a schnook, basically, right?
No, he spends tons of times and tons of episodes in a rage.
That's the whole show is a rage. You have Newman's in a rage. He's in a rage. Kramer's in a rage. I deny the concept. Sous Vide says, Doc Talk.
You skipped one. A third Jew says, I hate it when you fight.
No, I don't. I don't miss it. I don't have it. I don't have it.
A third Jew says, I hate it when you fight. That said, the greatest sports talk radio host up here in Canada, Bob McCown, used to refer to basketball as squeak, squeak, swish. However, Andy, there is an average of less than 18 minutes of actual action in a 3.5-hour NFL broadcast.
Yeah, that part does not affect me. I've never thought about it. I'm enjoying watching. I like the game. I like to see the last play that they just showed. I like to look at the. That's part of the game for me too. So, I think that it's an incorrect slam to slam football by saying there's hardly any action. Because
it's not a slam so much as a fact. It's just saying that there's an X amount of time, and I think it's far less than 18 minutes actually of actual game action from snap to whistle.
Right. Well, I think there's 2 points. How much time is it, and who's bothered by it? It's like, to me, I've never in my life watched a football game and said to myself, "Oh, there's not enough action." I've never. Just doesn't never even. I'm not timing it that way now. In the defense of that concept, they have shortened the games by making out of bounds plays. They keep the clock running. They didn't used to do that when I was a kid.
Right.
If they went out of bounds, at any point the clock stopped.
Right.
Now it does not stop. If you run out of bounds, it does not stop the clock.
Understood.
Okay. All right. Let's get out of here. Let's do something else.
Sous Vide says, Doc Talk, watching We Are the World doc, and there is a shit ton of reenactments and generally lazy production despite having some A-list/key production interviews. Look what you've done to us, Josh. Gen X Gold, though. It is Gen X Gold. It's not. I saw it. It does. It does. It is kind of lazy, but it is also. There's enough footage of the night and eye candy in terms of all that was going on that it doesn't get in the way of it really.
Did you talk about watching this?
No, it just premiered this week.
Because I looked at it and it made me depressed. It made me depressed because of the angle of the marketing of it. The greatest night of. They're talking about the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. It just looks. It's just. I somehow it made me sad that it was like just. Here's a shot of Huey Lewis walking in. Here's a shot of this person. It's like the premise of it made me sad. That the premise of it seems to be look at all these incredible stars, and there never was a night where they all got together or something like that. I don't know exactly what the premise of the movie is, but to me it looks like the way it's promoted is it's like, look how many stars there were on this particular night. I guess because I've seen so many things in music that it just made me sad. That's all I'm going to say. But you don't get that. I can't explain it more.
I don't get it, but that's
you don't get it.
No, because it was, it was a unique event,
right? But making a documentary about that night does not. The way they're promoting it like it's celebrity jamboree. If you can't see that, I'm not going to explain it more because I know that it's there.
Okay, well, this is just getting unnecessarily hostile, isn't it? Carlos says, thank you for your service to humanity. Why is blank your favorite color? You can just do these as we go. Why is what your favorite color, Andy?
Why is... I don't get this one.
All right. Sorry, he doesn't get that one. Christopher Citro says, in the breakfast cereal aisle of the supermarket, I see this package of false mustaches, $7.99 for 9 funky styles. Not a bad deal to change your look and be a cool dude. Guys, did you ever have an occasion to don a false mustache? And here's a picture of said dime store.
I don't like them.
Mustache. It's kind of like it's like a Frank Zappa kit for a 3-year-old.
It doesn't look like Frank Zappa.
Mustaches and soul patches.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever worn one. It was. I think I've worn one, but I think I went more for wax lips.
Stephen Elton Yates says, let me be the first to wish you guys a happy Greek Groundhog Day. This year it's on the same day as regular Groundhog Day.
Man, nobody knows more of things that I can't even believe he knows.
What makes the Greek Groundhog Day different is that he goes back down a different hole, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm.
So that's a gay joke, right?
It's a Greek gay joke.
Okay.
Tom the Tom says, Doc Talk Part 2. Despite the fact that it's 10 episodes long and you learn remarkably little, Super Hot about hot pepper growers and eaters was an easy watch. Subculture weirdos are the best. I tend to agree with that. I don't think I would watch the 10 episode Super. I'd rather just watch 10 episodes of that show where you do hot sauce on wings.
Right. I could watch 10 episodes about magic mushrooms.
Dan Marsh says, if you were chosen to voice a PSA, would you rather give seatbelt instructions for an airline, sing to potential tourists about how much you love L.A., or narrate a tearful Italian-American man who's pretending to be Native American? Or narrate over a tearful Italian-American man who's pretending to be a Native American?
I don't know. These
which is a reference to Iron Eyes Cody, who was in the Crying Indian in
the Native American commercial?
Yes. But he was not, in fact, a Native American, turns out.
I would like to do a more type thing, if that's available.
Nope, there's 3 options here, Andy. 3. I'm going to go with seatbelt instructions just to get on to the next question. QMock says, what sound does a rusty mouse make on a basketball court?
That would be. This sounds like a joke from a different type of show.
No, it's about this show. It's a reference to you going squeak, squeak,
squeak. Well, you're talking about the basketball jokes, right? But it doesn't hit me. Happened Fraser says, guys.
Do you want to just skip to the end? You're hating this.
Well, we're both hating it. We're both hating it, is what I'm thinking. I can't. I guess I cannot stand when I get into this mode where either I think you're saying I'm a dumb guy, or you go, no, that wasn't the question. No, that wasn't the issue. No, that wasn't the thing. It's like, I know you're moving it along, and I know that I'm a little bit out of sorts when the show started, but there's this insistent sense I get that that was a bad, you don't like when I just go speak off the top of my head, which is all I do.
No, it's not that. It's there.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear what I have to say.
No, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. Say it. Seriously.
No, it's literally the days where you don't finish a sentence and jump to the next one before finishing the first one, so I can't actually follow along what you're saying.
Right. And after about 10 minutes of that, I feel like either you're like, for example, say you said boring, not interesting, boring.
Yeah, because I was trying to get a laugh. Literally, I was trying to get a laugh.
I did not get to see at that point. I thought that you're going not interesting, boring. That you're reacting to the way that I'm answering the questions. Yeah, it's impossible to just go back to answering these questions. But the thing is I can feel it building. Is like, who gives a fuck how many questions they're asking? He asked between three choices. Who cares? So I assume that you're joking at me when you go, just answer between the three questions. You sound upset, but I don't think take responsibility for that. You're upset.
Well, I was trying to affect a comedic upset in order to get some rhythm going, is what I was trying to do. Like, rather than, I was thinking, let's actually answer the questions asked rather than go off and then we can get on to the next question.
I think the one that really bothered me, because it was clear what I was saying, was that what I was saying about hacks was completely clear. It wasn't something.
It was not clear to me. Let me be very clear. It was not clear to me what you were saying. It wasn't me just egging you on.
Right, but you also wouldn't. But it gets to a point where you're clearly. It feels to me like you're saying. You're just saying, just move it. It's like you just move it along, idiot. Just move it along, idiot. Just move it along. Nope, that's wrong too. There's a tone of it.
All right. Well, let me apologize, because it's very possible that my mid-veterinary situation has affected my mood or my patience. And if I was giving a intolerant or condescending attitude, the condescending part was, like I said, me trying to affect just some entertainment value. But it wasn't working. It was not well taken today, and I apologize for that.
Well, I apologize for getting upset, because it's ridiculous to get upset, because now the questions don't seem it's just, I don't know. I feel like there's this personality that it's obviously my issue with myself, but the idea that it's like, I guess it's just because it's a bad day. We're right in the middle of doing it. But when it's like people go like this, it's like it just got away from us, because I was just could not understand why every time we read the questions now, they're not in any, not every time. This is the first time it happened with the latest show. But what happens is that I'm not getting the same reads you're getting. I can't follow these things often if I can't see them. And that's when we go to Instagram, I'm not getting the same read you're getting. I'm not getting the same order of questions. So I don't know if I'm not putting things in right, but then it just gets so confusing. And just go down, it just gets into a bad thing. I'm sorry you got into a bad thing too. I hope your doggies are okay too.
Thank you. I'm just trying to find a moment to get out on, at least some kind of. some kind of.
Well, people aren't going to want to.
I don't want to thanks for listening. Glad you're feeling shitty.
Well, it's. I take it as I take it that it's like it definitely goes back into my own thing. So because I wouldn't be getting this upset if I wasn't buying it as a truthful thing in the moment, that there's something wrong with me and I'm not doing it right and I'm the reason why the show is not doing well or. No, let me,
from my perspective, let me try to explain without being
okay
confrontational about it, because I'm not trying to be. But I feel like the mode you get in when you're like that is that you go more sort of self-contained monologue, and so it's no longer a conversation. So if I'm not following the monologue, there's nothing for me to fall back on to say, it isn't a back and forth.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know what I mean? So if I'm not understanding what you're saying and it's not an interchange, it's a monologue, I don't know how to continue from there without going, I don't get what you're saying. You aren't putting something back in my court. You're just ending.
Right.
And then I have to evaluate what you said. And if I don't understand it, it's hard for me to evaluate it with anything other than that.
Well, all I was saying, see if I can do it one more time. All I was saying was that the idea of, I see all this political, like Jimmy Dore, I see all this political unrest, I can capitalize on it. That is a different that's a form of hack.
Right. It's a different category almost of hackdom for profit. That's not like selling tickets to your show. I mean, it's a much more cynical kind of hackdom.
Right. It is. So that's why
it's algorithmic hackdom.
Yes, that's true, because it is based on an algorithm too. I think that, so I kept going over and over saying the same thing over because I thought here's the thing that I get into, which is not, obviously it's not you, but something is going on where I get into that mode where, like you're looking at me like, no, that you didn't get that one either, but that's part of the joke. That's where I think is part of the joke that on a good day can be so much fun. I'm just thinking in my mind.
Please understand that most days you kind of like being made fun of. Most days.
Yeah, I do. I do almost like being made fun of. I like being made fun of. It's almost like it's like my favorite thing to be made fun of, but
it's hit or miss.
You're in a very safe, but it can be, but it's under the context. It's in the context of you clearly know what you're doing, so I get to play the dumb guy. But there's another part of me that's just, this is the way I'm processing reality. And so what I think gets frustrating for me is just when we get into that mode of we're not relating to each other in a friendly way, it's just depressing. But, it's no fun. I mean, it's not fun for you.
Yeah, but you're the guy that gets depressed from We Are the World. So, just
kidding. I think that was the thing. It was like, I thought that one caught me by surprise, because I thought that you were going to, because that's another thing I feel like I can feel the negative side of, not from you, but it's like I'm arguing something that is ridiculous, or I'm arguing something that is so petty. Why are you getting upset about it? This case, it was surprising to me because I thought that's like kind of what's bothering. I still don't understand why I can't convey that the idea of the greatest night that everybody, and then shots of Huey Lewis, and I'm not explaining why that looks terrible to me.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I think maybe you missed the moment when it happened, as an exciting event at the time.
No, I guess that's even more the reason. I've seen so many music documentaries where they've even gone into that night. They've shown that night.
Well, that's the real problem with the doc, is that almost all of that footage has already been seen. there was like 3 or 4 facts that I got from that thing that I didn't already know.
Right.
So, but it's total candy in terms of something to watch. But it is, but I didn't have I didn't find it depressing because I think the idea of that many celebrities without their people around them in a room is an interesting sort of social experiment, and it kind of was.
Yeah.
Watching fucking Bob Dylan squirm out of his skin is pretty fucking funny.
Well, that might be the thing that it might not be funny. Maybe it makes me weird to watch. It made me feel weird to watch that. I don't. I think sometimes, like, if I'm not
finding out that Waylon Jennings walked out after Stevie Wonder proposed them singing some Swahili piece.
Who walked out?
Waylon Jennings.
Oh,
I don't do Swahili.
Did he really do it though?
No, he left.
Well, he's not into this, or okay. Well, I don't know. I think I'm struggling too with the fact that I'm when I get into this mode, I'm not coherent. Or I'm not. What's that word? Not coherent. Not articulate. So my ability to articulate is diminished by the fact that it was diminished that I wasn't hitting my stride normally, and so it just looks like I'm doing self-contained monologues. But what I think is that something happens where it's uncomfortable for one of us, but it's not the same thing because you don't see it the same way. You don't usually get mad, first of all. Maybe you do. I'm trying to think of this, like, what it is about this argument that I need to look at, and so I can't figure it out exactly. No, it's not that. I'm trying to say, it's really based on not wanting to have future. I think it's just a desire not to have future arguments, or it's a desire. It's like, I want you to be happy doing this show, and I want to be happy doing the show, but really, you're do all the work on the show, like in terms of except for the session. So I think a lot of things I think that actually affects me. I go, well, how long is he going to want to do this when I'm, if, like, even the thing about, I'll just have to cut that out. I start to think, I don't want to say something that has to be cut out. But the reason why this conversation doesn't make much sense is that we just came off of a whole bunch of great, what I thought was like just the greatest shows. So I think in general, I'm thinking in my head often that you're working too hard on the show and it's not fair or something like that. Well, I mean, it's not fair. It's way more than you thought it would be, or we didn't think about how long it would be to edit when we started, and it's like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, but I'm not carrying a Santa bag of resentment about it along around with me. No, I mean, the truth is it's like, the fact that I have to edit it makes me acutely aware that this is a show.
Yeah,
when we're doing it,
I know.
So my instinct is, regardless of the mood you come to the table with, I want to make the best show. And sometimes I clearly make the wrong choice on how to steer the ship to make the listener go, this is fun to listen to.
Well, I think it was more like I didn't get that you were making. Sometimes you were just making the joke was the thing that you were saying to me.
Well,
right?
and
yeah,
I can't even remember anything I fucking said today, honestly. So, and like I said in my formal apology a while back,
I'm sorry.
I could easily be off my game. It's been a super stressful week, and including I'm in the midst of a stressful day while doing this even. So,
well, I'm also aware, that I'm totally aware of that. And I'm totally aware that now that we're talking, this is going to be more stuff to. What are you going to do with all this stuff?
No, this I'm going to keep so people go, oh, they had a little fight, but now they're okay because they talked. Hopefully, in some ways, it's more nutritious than us answering questions from Twitter because we're not going back to that.
Yeah. I think that it's a tough thing when you're in the middle of the show, and I think what happens is maybe I'm OCDing this. Also, I'm over worried about how long this takes you, or I don't know. It's like I don't listen to the shows back because I should listen to the show more, and I want to listen to the show more, but I don't end up listening to the show more. So then anytime that there's something unexpressed, like you're not saying to me, listen to the show more, but I think in your mind you'd like me to listen to the show more. So this starts a whole thing with whether you want me to listen to the show more or I don't want to listen to the show more.
But none of that's coming from me. That's all internal. Because at one point I wanted you to listen to the show because I wanted you to know what the show was.
Oh, so I think I am confusing that time period.
I just needed you to know what the show was.
Right. Okay.
At this point, I don't think about you listening to the show. I assume you haven't or don't, and it doesn't bother me.
Right, but when you come up with these great...
But if, the only time it would bother me is if you, went back and said, I hate that you do that. I just found out you do that, and it makes me mad. Then I'm like, well, fuck, the ship has sailed, tough shit. That would be my attitude, I think.
Right, yes. Right. Well, under certain circumstances. I guess I'm just, I think we've said it all.
For me, I take your indifference to listening, not indifference. You're not listening to the show as license for me to do whatever the fuck I want.
Right. But the thing is, if you weren't editing the show, what would let's say that somebody else was editing the show, would you listen to every episode of yourself?
No, I would listen enough so that I trusted their edit.
Right.
Or their editing philosophy.
Yeah.
And then I would walk away. I would never.
Okay, so there's
if this show was being produced by somebody else fully, I wouldn't listen. No, unless there was something I specifically wanted to Zapruder.
Right. Or that's true. Okay, so I think that there's so many things that go on that we don't talk about. So I think that has been a thing we haven't talked about, where
I just want you to know enough about the show so that you understand references to the show.
Right. Well, and sometimes those I will forget that we have a thing about.
And that's a running gag, almost.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I mean, just know that I'm not walking around with any kind of barrel of hostility about any of it.
I know you're not.
I would either address it or stop if I was.
No, the thing is, no. I understand that. I don't think. I think it's obvious that I'm just a fact that that I've built up a lot of these things. That's what my mind does. And instead of asking, I should have asked more, because we never really talked more about, in my mind, I really thought you were going to, we were going to wrap I didn't want to wrap the show up, but I thought you were about to wrap the show up. Because that's the feeling I got from you, is that it's getting towards the end. And that may be wrong.
Well, it's not. I mean, there's nothing imminent in my head. There's probably a breaking point in my future somewhere, but I don't see it. It's not on the calendar.
Well, I guess the thing too is that
the thing that'll probably break it is me getting a real project.
Yeah, that would be right. Well, the thing is, you have a very specific. You have a kind of a curmudgeonly attitude towards life in general. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's like the idea, when something real comes along, I won't be able to do this anymore. You know what I mean? That's just part of your joking about it. See, I'm not making clear, right?
Yeah, no, but I mean, but it wasn't. I wasn't really joking. I mean, this is a sideline. It doesn't. Right. It does not provide a living for me.
No, I know
and
that.
So if something were to come along that was both engrossing and enriching, I would have to give that priority.
I know that. I guess I understand. I guess I'm living in this world where I think that the show, I know people love the show, and I know why they love it, because I love it for the same reasons.
Except you don't listen to it. Come on. No, I'm just kidding. You're here.
Yeah, so... listening to it is similar to listening to your own comedy album after a while. Sometimes, because I feel like. See, I'm coming up with reasons to tell you why I don't listen to the whole 2-hour show. You're not saying it, you don't care. Okay. So I will from now on assume that when things are really bothering you, you will say them.
You have my pledge. That if
I'm sorry.
If I'm truly angry about anything, you will hear about it.
And the only thing is that doesn't give you permission to not do it in case you didn't know you were that angry. So you can't win with me, really. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. I love you, and I'm very sorry that I got you going to fight on a day with your kitties.
They're dogs, asshole.
My lower body's on fire! Fire! Somebody call the police!